Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about the best 15 interview questions to ask the candidates during the job interview. All of us at least once took a part in a job interview. It was a stressful situation as we were unaware of the questions that we may face. So this video is here to help you to overcome all the fears and get acquainted with the common interview questions. There is some kind of scale for the common job interview questions. It is not because employers don't have enough fantasy to think of new questions, but it is because these particular questions, which at first may look similar, can show the real potential of the candidate. So the first question is, tell me about yourself. It may not be defined as a question, but it is an effective way to open the interview. It is actually not a way to make the candidates blurt out their lives. Remember to be brief. Employers don't want to hear about your childhood, no matter how happy you were back then or how popular you were among your peers. The desired answer for this question is something about your education, experience, and skills connected with the position you are interviewing for. Hello, thank you for coming to our interview.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So, first of all, tell me about yourself.
I graduated bachelor's degree in a business administration faculty, and I've always been passionate about finance and money, and also my relatives and parents told me that I will get great job opportunities in this field. I love Yankee, I'm a Yankee fan, and I love softball, and I always go to all their games.
The second question is, what do you know about our company and why do you want to work here? This question is mainly asked at the beginning of the interview. The employers want to know whether you are familiar with them or you came here by chance. Are you really interested in that particular position, or it is nothing more than just an interview for you? Besides before mentioned points, employers also want to know if their company is well known. Of course, it's about small companies. Okay, so what do you know about our company and why do you want to work here?
So before applying for this job, I have gone through all your social media accounts and your website and read about your company, and I think that I'm a great fit for your company and your company will give me great opportunities. I haven't really done any research on your company and I don't know anything, so I was hoping maybe you can get some information for me.
Of course. So the third question is, please give me the definition of the position. To understand your understanding of the position, the hiring manager may ask you questions such as, please give me the definition of the position you are interviewing for. Don't be surprised by this question. There is a group of candidates who don't even know what position they are applying for. So to be sure that they are not wasting time with someone who has no understanding of the job and its function, they decide that it would be better to ask just one question than continue wasting time. Please give me the definition of the position.
So in this position, I'm going to provide administrative support for the organization.
Okay.
I read about this position. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun, and that's it.
I hope so. What do you find most attractive about this position? Okay, we got it. You clearly gave the definition of the position. Now tell us about the attractive parts of the position. This is what will come next. Be sure to not emphasize only your benefits, like I will earn enough money. You also want to avoid giving answers that emphasize the job advantages like health insurance or free lunches, etc. This is an opportunity to talk about what you find appealing about the position, and you should seem positive and eager to take on the role in your response. What do you find most attractive in this position?
I'm extremely interested in human resources manager job, and as you have mentioned in your job listing, I'll be responsible for recruiting, orientation and training, and in my recent position I've been responsible for that, so I think that I'm going to do a great job. So I applied for this position as I was going through job ads and I saw this position and I'm really bored with my current position, so I decided to just apply.
Very interesting. Of course, before going to the interview, candidates send their CVs. It includes their job experiences, education, personality traits, etc. But how we can be sure that all that is written in their CV is correspondent to reality? Ask the candidates, what isn't on your CV that is important for me to know? What isn't on your CV that is important for me to know?
One thing that you cannot really see in my CV is that in my recent job position, I helped my company to increase their sales by 15%, and that took up many sleepless evenings and administrative tasks that I had to catch up with, but it was totally worth it. What you can see in my CV is that I'm a very outgoing person and I love partying, and I always spend my holidays just forgetting about my responsibilities and my job.
Oh, it's really important in our job. Now that both employees and employers have some kind of understanding about each other, it's time to concentrate generally on the career. What are you most proud of in your professional life so far? Do you agree that this question can provide you with a full understanding of the candidate's career, weaknesses, and strengths? By answering the question, the candidates will have a chance to emphasize the most successful events concerning their careers. What are you most proud in your professional life so far?
So I had to lead a company-wide training session and teach many people how to use our project management platform. And I was not really a fan of public speaking, but during that process I got very confident in that sphere as well. Honestly, I'm the best worker in this field and I've achieved so many things, it's hard to count.
Even if the candidate still keeps in private his or her weaknesses and talks mainly about the success, it's the right time to ask them, what is your greatest weakness? Now, there is no way to escape from this undesirable question. All human beings have their weaknesses. None of us is a superhero. Our weaknesses are not here to make problems for us during the interview, but to make us feel more comfortable and real. The interview will have a chance to see the real us, and why not? Maybe you can get the position even with the help of this question. What is your greatest weakness?
So my greatest weakness is that I am very detailed orientated and I pay a lot of attention to the finest details of any project that I'm going through. So I'm very impatient and sometimes I get frustrated with incompetent people.
Well, okay, we're on the undesirable side of the interview. When a successful part is known and you have already talked about your weaknesses, it's time to talk about that one particular failure. Obviously, there might be a day in your career when you will fail. Of course, it's a normal thing, but you will also know how to overcome all the failures and not to let down your colleagues, your boss, and finally you. It is important for employers to know whether you are brave enough to face your failures and deal with them. How do you deal with failure?
So I have always lived by the maximum that nobody is perfect, and I'm not perfect as well. And I always try to figure out what I can change in order to be better in what I'm doing in my job. Whenever I fail, I get really frustrated and I tend to give up the work that I'm doing and just move on.
Good for you. What can you offer us that other candidates can't? Definitely, you are not the only candidate. It's always a hard decision for employers to find the right one among the dozens. While you are pointing out all the things that you can offer, employers highlight in their minds ones that are important and that aren't mentioned before. Although this job is what you were looking for all your life and it's your last chance to get it, you still want to come across as a team player. Avoid criticizing others. Emphasize your achievements, identify your skills, or explain what you can do for a company. What can you offer us that other candidates can't?
I have relatively long experience in this field, and I have also great communication skills and work ethic, and without any doubt I can contribute to this company to grow together. I'm a great person, I have good personality, and I'm a hard worker.
I'm really happy for you. Employers want to see good professional and personal relationship between co-workers. As I said, being a team player is a crucial point. So the following question, what do you value in your work relationships, is one of the commonly asked questions during the job interview. Highlight your ability to build a good relationship with your colleagues and balance it with hard teamwork. Your answer must show that while you enjoy working with others, you also want to stay productive. What do you value in your work relationships?
So with my colleagues in my previous job, we have always set the same goals and we all did the right teamwork to get the result and to achieve the results for our company. Actually, I get along with people really well, but there are some people that really annoy me.
How do you influence others to work with you? In any environment, especially in the workplace, influence is a form of power. Motivating others to work with you is not an easy task. How do you influence others to work with you? A common question among the interviews. This question is mainly asked to check whether you are ready to share your knowledge with your coworkers, build good relationship with them, or you prefer working alone. Here you will have to again highlight your strengths, pointing to the ones that are connected with co-workers. How do you influence others to work with you?
I always listen to others' opinions and try to get their points of view. I do not care about what others do, I just mind my own business.
How do you deal with conflict with a coworker? Even though you have created an absolute friendly relationship with the team, there can't be a working atmosphere without misunderstandings. That is why most employers ask questions such as, how do you deal with conflict with a coworker? They want to know how you can rebuild bridges and restore working relationships with others. A candidate must demonstrate strong listening and communication skills. Don't answer this question like you have a fight with coworker because he's an Aquarius and you are a Capricorn. You must highlight all the possible ways of solving the problem in a professional manner, such as talking privately with your colleagues, trying to understand his or her point of view, taking a collaborative approach for solving the misunderstanding between you. How do you deal with the conflict with a coworker?
I always listen to others' opinions and try to get their points of view. I do not care about what others do, I just mind my own business.
Describe how to make a paper plane with just words. Sometimes the hiring manager checks the candidate's logic as well. It is not technically a question, but an instruction which can show how well the candidates can describe just about anything. While answering this question, the candidates must use simple sentences instead of complex ones. Okay, can you describe how to make a paper plane with just words?
Of course, you need to fold the paper in half vertically. Then after that, open the fold paper and bring the corners to the center.
What are your salary expectations? At the end of the interview, there are two questions that are mainly asked. The first one is, what are your salary expectations? Everyone has their own understanding of this question. The company has its scale concerning the salary, and to understand if your and their expectations are the same, this question is asked. Okay, so the last question, what are your salary expectations?
If I'm a right fit to this job, I think that we can come to an agreement. I expect really high salary because I left my previous job for the salary.
The second one is, do you have any questions for me? The hiring manager is not the only one who has questions. The candidates may also have questions concerning their future position. The candidate must respond with a question, otherwise they will leave an impression of not being fully integrated into the conversation. And finally, do you have any questions for us?
Actually, I was wondering that if I'm applied for this job, what are your expectations of me to achieve during the first 2 months? Yes, I would like to know how much vacation do I get?
There was a period in our lives when actually everything was online, starting from the exams to work. Job interviews aren't expectations. but conducting online job interviews are still working because the practice showed that it saves enough time for employers to find the right candidate for them. Online interviews can be defined as the first level of the interview. The companies now send the online form to the candidates and based on the result decide which of them are more appropriate for them. But how to create an online interview? That is the question. SurveyMaker is the answer. SurveyMaker plugin allows you to create unique online questionnaires as well as conversational surveys. Write the interesting questions and let the candidates answer them. You can collect their names and emails so that you can know whose online questionnaires you are checking. SurveyMaker gives you the ability to create multi-page questionnaires. It lets you build unlimited surveys with unlimited sections and questions. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching this video. See you soon!